Why was it important to make immortality a law instead of a luxury?
You're watching the Spotlight Network. Starring Hollywood's newsman, Logan Crawford.
They now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford. Streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're talking about a powerful book. It is called The Box, and it is written by a terrific author. His name is Stanley Paden. It is a dystopian sci-fi story where a man wakes from a cryogenic sleep into a future where death is illegal and freedom is nearly gone. The world runs on synthetic life, debt-based survival, and control disguised as progress. And the more he remembers, the worse the truth gets. The Box asks a chilling question that hits hard right now. What would you trade to live forever? We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team for helping us put him on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Stanley, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, you're very welcome. I appreciate being here.
This is such a powerful book, very original. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely. What came about, chapter one practically wrote itself. What happened was I imagined people like Walt Disney going into a cryogenic state and then imagining what if they would be brought back to life. And I was like, in the future, this could be possible. And then I just imagined what is going to happen, how it would just come about slowly. And, then it's kind of like I'm being brought back to life, but what's really happening? Am I coming back to life? Am I in a state of nothingness? What on earth is going on here? And that's what inspired me to write chapter one. And it was not a hard chapter to write because a lot of this was something that I already wanted to express.
Yeah, that whole Disney story always sparked my imagination growing up as well, that's for sure. Can you imagine what it would be like dying or being frozen right before you die, later awakened into a world you don't recognize? It would be quite amazing, right?
Absolutely. And, I think you even know, like in the box, I have like deaths where they bring you to the brink of death and then you have like a horrible experience. And then it's like, oh, well, we don't want the person to really die, so we're going to bring the person back to life. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is that it's something that is a big theme in my book. Yeah. And it's not, it can be a double-edged sword when people can't die.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes dying is a good thing. Depending on what state you're in, that kind of stuff. You never know. But why was it important to make immortality a law instead of a luxury?
Yeah, well, the reason why was I'm thinking about the present day situation where as we get technologically more advanced, it doesn't help everybody because some people end up to the brink of slavery in order to be able to pay for everything. And so some people are actually living as if it were like 60 or 100 years ago, not because the technology isn't there, but because people can't afford it. Yeah. And they just priced out of it.
Yeah, that's part of the book, of course. Debt becomes a tool of obedience. How did you come up with that concept? Do you feel like we're almost already there, that people have to work because they have to pay their mortgage or their rent or their car payment or their groceries? We're kind of like slaves to the system in some ways anyway, right?
And I mean, this is that system on steroids. It's just so um, it's just such a horrible in some ways it's like such a horrible way that you don't have a choice in it. And if you are benefiting from it, then you're very happy. If you are not, then you either just resign yourself to it and go along with it, or you try to fight it. And sometimes even then, you're beating against a wall.
Yeah, yeah. Freedom is extinct in your book. What does that look like in everyday life, in jobs, housing, relationships?
Oh, this is a tough one. What I would say is that it means sometimes what it is I remember I once had a boss who, well, you probably can relate to this, where um, they would say, "Oh, your work is terrible," and they're not paying you what enough, but that's beside the point. But they would say, "Well, if you don't like the job, then just go and get another one."
Right.
But the thing is that then you know that that the job market is tough. Of course, if the job market is where they're looking for people, then they treat you much better because they want you. And
Mhm.
so it's kind of like a give and take type of thing. As far as some of these other things, I think it depends on whether you have access to it. If you do have access, then it doesn't bother you. And so it um, you don't really notice it as much.
Mhm.
Whereas if you are on in contact with it on a daily basis, then you are acutely aware of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to us a little bit about another concept in your book, synthetic life. What's that all about?
Well, synthetic life would be, well, we have already got it. That would be like, for example, if they insert a computer part to save your life. We
Hmm.
already did that with a lot of the bypasses and, for example, synthetic legs and things like that.
Hmm.
And I'm not knocking those. Those are
Yeah.
great because it helps people to live more fully productive lives. But in the future, we might have, instead of somebody donating their organ, they might be able to just come up with a silicon-based liver or silicon-based pancreas if those organs go out,
Mhm.
or other things like, for example, in the brain or in the heart or anywhere else.
Yeah. Exactly. And of course, will be a mixed blessing, the fact that we will have immortality because of replacement parts. Let me ask you this. How much of this do you feel is inspired by what's happening around us today? I guess a lot of it in many ways. It's just exaggerated a little bit, or the imagination has been stretched a little bit, right?
It's been stretched, and I would say that a lot of it is because I have seen a lot of this where a lot of people fall apart because of healthcare. They fall
Mm.
apart because they can't um, come up with the rent and all of this.
Mm.
And then people just fall behind. And I do see it. And unfortunately, I think it's going to get worse in the future rather than better. And so that inspired me to write the book. And probably that theme kept presenting itself over and over throughout my book.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you envisioned this book as a film?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that I'd be able to like make it because there's just so much involved
Hmm.
in um, developing that film. I would definitely need collaboration and sponsorship.
Exactly, exactly. Well, you've done the hard part. You've created the story, you've created the framework, you've created the characters, the set, the scene, the scenario. So, Hollywood, if you're listening, here is a book that is ready to go. It'd be a terrific film, that's for sure. That's for sure. And we would love to see it as a movie because I think it'd be fascinating. It's very, very philosophical, this book. Don't you feel that's true?
I think some of it is, yeah. It's It definitely is symbolic, and I don't want to get into like specific things because other people have different opinions about
Hmm.
uh, how the world should be, and if my personal opinions go against that, I don't want somebody to feel alienated because of it. But yeah, I do believe that it is symbolic of a lot of things that happen in the world.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and in this country, and I do look throughout the world because I have traveled, and
Hmm.
I do see myself as a bridge among cultures. It's not just about the United States. It's about, I went to South America twice last year,
Wow.
and and I am multilingual, and so these experiences have in influenced me to and write with more depth.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The more experiences you have, the more that colors and flavors your work, no doubt. Let me ask you this. If somebody came to you and said, moments before you die, we want to freeze you and we will awaken you once we have a cure for your disease, would you do it?
That's a tough one. I know my character did it. I guess spoiler, but um, the and there are going to be prequels as far as how that goes, but I'm not going to give any more information.
Sure.
But I will say that um, if I was if it was moments before I died and they didn't have the technology to revive me, but somebody offered to revive me. I guess I would have to like look through the legal paperwork
Hmm.
first of all before I even consider it.
Yeah.
Um, the next thing would be like, well, how much does it cost? I know it's just
Mhm.
like I'm thinking it's like such a businessman. Um, I don't know. I'm leaning towards no, and
Yeah.
the reason is because I think that at a certain point life is over and that's it. And I
Yeah.
think it's the way it should be. But then again, I could see arguments for saying, well, why not? I'm just, how might it be 100 or 200 years from now? But then again, I'm thinking that everything's going to be more the same than it is different. I mean,
Who
technology
knows?
is different, but yeah, it's going to be um, a lot of the vanity, um, a lot of the clashes, a lot of the frustrations, and um, there's that saying: the more things change, the more things stay the same. And I
Yeah.
don't think that will solve the world's problems unless there's a concerted effort among people. And I don't think that people will do it. And the more we think, oh, well, I'm going to do it because this other person won't, then you get the power and you do the same thing.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. You make a good case for and against, that's for sure. Let me ask you this. Is this book going to be part of a series? You mentioned some prequels, and I guess prequels would include some sequels. Tell us about how you see this going.
Right. Well, the prequel will be, um, I think that you've read the book or at least part
Mhm.
of it. So what I'll say is that um, the first prequel, there are going to be two. The first one's going to be about, how you know, um, the subject got to be in that cryogenic state, and then also how it will be, uh, how we got to World War III.
Mhm.
And it involved global warming and how the third world rises up
Mhm.
and it refuses to put up with things. It refuses to put up with their corrupt leaders, which is good, but it also is like, well, is the first world willing to share? And
Mhm.
I probably have given away too much, but whatever. And then with the second one, it's how this one group of people who have empowered, but then they also shield themselves, and it's going to be called Shield from Annihilation.
Mhm.
And then what happens is this is going to be how the Society of the Box gets formed based on this group of people, and about the mixed way that the double-edged way that things come about, plus how the doctor formed his opinions, and even from when he was a child, um, where he may not have had all of the information, but he still did what he, formed his personality based on what happened. There's a sequel that's already being worked on, where where I've talked about how there's things get resolved, but then there's like a new enemy that comes that is not based on carbon or silicon, which they say that that's what we have today because we are carbon, and then computers and artificial intelligence is based on silicon. That's what I've heard. And so
Yeah.
now there's another one that's based on, I think I did it on uranium or something like that, maybe radon or something. And then that one becomes the new enemy.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, the entire series sounds fascinating. This book that we've been primarily focusing on today, folks, is indeed fascinating. You'll enjoy the adventure, and it'll also get you thinking, which is a great part of literature. The name of the book is The Box.
Yeah, I definitely like getting people thinking. That's what I think is important about the book. I'm sorry I'm interrupting.
No.
But it's important, it's important to get people thinking and getting them back to reading. And I wanted to emphasize that. Of course, soon I will have audiobooks and video descriptions. And so I think that will be important. If it's made into a movie, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I do want to make a plug for having more more reading and more
Yeah.
writing in our schools and among the general population. I think it's one thing that has been lagging over the years, and I want to get it back on track.
Absolutely. Literature is an important part of our mental development in school years and beyond. This book is great, folks. It's called The Box. It's the kind of dystopian sci-fi thriller that lingers because it challenges what safety and forever really cost. Stanley, thank you so much for joining me here today.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate your time, your insight, and the wonderful work on this book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.